Let's go for the Friday night special. This is a big segment of Friday night. It is Chief Special.
Ship the hell off. Ship off. Ship off. Ship off. Find a little boat and ship the hell off. There's a few people we need to discuss tonight. It's been a very big day in Australian tennis. They're playing the Davis Cup tie up in Darwin, and unfortunately, we lost both the singles games against the Kazakhstan players today.
Do you love your tennis, Chief?
I do love my tennis.
Kazakhstan
so both Thanasi Kokonakis and Nick Kyrgios both got beaten up and down on the grass. Well, there's one bloke not playing, Brian. Thank you for mentioning that.
Oh, sorry.
And look, he's been having an ongoing run-in, both Bernard Tomic and his old man, with Tennis Australia and the powers that be, including Pat Rafter. So they gave him a spell because he'd got a little bit out of line. Gave him an opportunity to put his head down, get himself right, get his mind right, and get back into the fold and maybe come back and help Australia. So Bernie did the best thing he could. He went to Miami and he partied on at a hotel. And then when staff from the hotel came and said, listen, could you turn the music down and get a little bit loud, he said, I wouldn't have thought so. So then when hotel security came to the room and said, listen, we need you to quieten down, you're making too much noise, you're disturbing the other residents, he said, stuff ya. And then finally when the police turned up, he said no when they said, listen, you need to be quiet. So what'd they do? They arrested him. He shipped himself off. Straight to jail, had his photo taken and all. This is a man that's trying to turn the corner and come back into the fold, not doing himself any favours. Well. Come on, Bernie. Ship
Good start.
Good start. Strong.
We have not spoken since our very good friend Campbell Brown went and attempted to swim the English Channel, which was a gutsy effort. Yeah. And he wanted to stay out there and fight the conditions. But it got to a stage where the captain of the ship virtually said, well, I'm going, mate, so you can stay if you want, but if you want to get back alive, you better hop on the boat because the weather's going no good. So Brownie, valiant effort, stayed over there to take in a little bit of the Ashes series.
Oh, no.
Decides to appropriate someone's credentials that got him out onto the ground and made it about himself.
Oh.
Walked out into the centre of Lords prior to play starting. A security guard came running out and said, I'm sorry, we don't allow midgets out on the turf. You need to come with me, my friend, and shipped him off.
Out of the ground? Or
out of the ground completely.
Right.
See you later. Yeah. Brownie, ship off.
I think he got back in, Chief.
Yeah, I know.
He was out.
And I'm not happy about that.
In the centre pitch.
I wanted him dismissed completely. In fact, they should have dropped him off at the police
station.
Any
thoughts on whose accreditation he had, Damo? Because that's always intriguing.
Warren might have had something to do with something
don't
involved
give him
with
up, Locker. We're trying to keep those names out of it.
Okay. Saw him in action at the Superbowl, old brown dog, and he had an accreditation. I don't know where he got it from, but it just accessed all areas for him over there.
Yeah, he has suffered from kleptomania at times. With something we need to listen to, Wolf, because apparently this morning on breakfast radio we were under attack with some very pointed comments.
Oh, no. Who
from a fellow Triple Emma of ours.
You've been warned. Big Nose producer has tweeted me, Luke Darcy,
a preemptive strike for tonight.
Darcy has no idea
I'll
what
take
he's
them all
for
down
tonight.
I'll take them all down tonight.
I'll be listening to
the Chief's a dullard, so he'll be boring for a start. And Gary's a snake in the grass. So anyway.
So that's the human matchstick having a chat on radio this morning. This is the man that we haven't seen for a fortnight.
No, well,
decided to take a mid-year holiday.
Been ashed out.
I think it's about 4 weeks.
I haven't seen him for a good month.
I'm struggling to come to grips with his absence because I thought we were a committed team.
I'm sticking with him.
He's trying.
Of course you are.
Oh, just hanging in there.
What happened after that?
He got stuck in Bali, and we all know there was the big ash cloud, and he couldn't get back.
But Jim got out.
He did.
Yeah,
which obviously wasn't pushing that hard to get out. Yeah. But then about 4 or 5 days later, most people have been waiting desperately to get home. They had to get the kids back to school. There were people missing out on work, all sorts of things.
People slept at the airport for 5 days on the tiled
and he
floor.
Finally got on a flight.
They couldn't.
He walked out of his villa.
He and his beautiful wife, Beck, made it to the airport.
She's a terrific lady.
Straight to the lounge, sipping their champagne.
Oh, no.
Reading newspapers.
Whereas families
swanning it up.
Families are on the tile.
The others that have slept at the airport, desperate
cubicle.
to get home, have all made it onto the plane.
Yep.
And then about 15 minutes after the plane was due to depart, the PA at Denpasar Airport started to say, Luke and Beck, Darcy, please, Gate 7, immediately your plane is waiting to take off. Made them wait for half an hour.
What?
Finally strolled on, apparently, to
after
the booze,
a 5-day wait,
to the booze of the entire aeroplane.
That wouldn't have been Beck's fault.
Could you imagine if we were sitting in the front row, or any row for that matter, and he walked on
Disgraceful.
A half an hour.
Let me say
He's
this.
wrestling
Let me say
after
this.
due takeoff time.
Most people, when they're stranded in Bali, not that hard, not trying that hard to get home in Duke's
Yeah.
case, but for others, they haven't got accommodation, Brian.
No.
Because their accommodation's finished, they've gone to the airport to fly home. Duke swans back to his 3-story villa.
Lodge.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he's got accommodation, so he's in no rush. He knows he's covered.
Do you reckon he would have taken any of those other people back with him just to
Not
give
one,
them
not
a bit of
even
free
would
accom?
not have
You
even
wouldn't have bothered,
crossed
BT.
his mind, and then he just waits, and then he just makes a call to one of his 8 butlers.
Yep.
Says, ring the airport, champ, see whether we're out today. They say no, and then he just goes back out to his sun deck. and then on the last day, he said, are we out? And then one of the butlers said, yes, Mr. Darcy, out. So he said, oh, all
Did he?
right. So he gets back, packed the kids up,
Then he rolled his bags
and
into
just
the car.
casually strolled out. He got the limo swanned in, and they said, "Oh, the plane's waiting." He said, "They can wait. They can wait for me.
I'm just going to have a champagne
My
first."
own time, I'll get there." And they said, "But Mr. Darcy, people have been on it for 5 days in the toilet waiting." Bad luck, he said. "I'll get there when I get there." That was it, Chief.
That was it. So for a man that showed a complete lack of regard and disrespect for his fellow travellers, I think from one and all, and for everyone that got stuck at Bali, Luke Darcy, ship off.
That's your best.
A little taken out of context, all of that. I would have
Oh,
thought.
Hey.
All I say, I've just
No.
arrived.
No,
I've
dude.
just
Little
arrived,
Peter Pipe cleaner, how are you?
and I am full of positive energy. I just feel refreshed. I feel fired
Why
up for
wouldn't
the
you be
second half
refreshed? You've
of
had a
the
month's
year,
holiday.
and I'm not going to be dragged down by any negativity tonight. So great to see you. I missed all of you. I'm looking forward to
Shut up,
Triple M
Luke.
footy tonight.
I'll tell you, I'll give you some negativity. This is the serve you copped last week in your absence when
I
you
copped one, did
were
I?
quote
No.
unquote
You would have my back.
ashed in.
How do you get out,
Don't know.
but the human pipe cleaner can't get applied out?
What is going on with pencil?
Well, I don't understand it,
Chief?
I've got no idea. Chief, have you got any intel on it?
He's on the
un-
running sheet to be on
unless,
tonight.
unless he's sourcing some sort of newfangled vice that's going to give his head a bit better shape, I don't think there is any acceptable excuse for him not being here. You at least made it back. But your mate with the head that has no width. I mean, I'll tell you right now, his head is a straight line. It's just got a couple of eyes and ears hanging, dangling off the straight line. It's the skinniest head I've ever seen in the world. He needs to stay buried in ash wherever he is. BT, are you normally free on a Friday night?
No.
You're not.
All I am, yeah, from football, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking if we
I am.
ship Razorblade head off, we can keep BT on a Friday night. Wouldn't be a bad way to sort of go about it.
Who's Razorblade here?
Have you seen how thin Duke's head is?
You got a fascination.
I may have been taken out of context. And in my defence, Duke, they were winding me up. They were winding me up.
I
I've never
was
seen a
sticking up
man
for you.
enjoy his own work. He was both shoulders were bouncing up and down. Listening to yourself, then, Chief. You loved your own work, but I appreciate
How's your
it.
positive energy now?
You can get stuff, Chief. Complete dickhead.
Hey, we must give a suspended ship off
Yep.
to James Brayshaw, because if North lose tonight, he has to be shipped
Well,
off. as
that's the
president.
biggest
Chairman
news
has to
out of
go.
tonight is if the Kangaroos go down, there will be a challenge for the chairmanship, and we believe
He has to fall on his
exclusively
sword. Has
on Triple M Footy we can announce the man who's put the ticket together, Ash Chua.
The two-time premiership statistician.
Is he going to the
Will
ground?
take over the chairmanship of North Melbourne if they go down tonight.
I don't think he's going to go any good at it because he can't even get into the ground
Well,
here tonight.
when he becomes a chairman, he'll be right. He'll get gold passes and all sorts of things. So there you go. That's an exclusive Chua.
By the way,
He's
Darce,
challenging
it's-
if they lose.
It's round 16, mate. I'm not sure whether you're aware of that, but it's round it's
Thank
about
you,
round
Bristol.
13 when you left, but it's round 16 now.
I'm up to speed with where we're at, Bristol. I'm as I said, I'm not going to be dragged down tonight. I'm right up.
No.
I'm fresh.
Why wouldn't you be fresh?
Oh,
And I've had a
fresh.
good break, and I'm Gary. I'm
No.
going to bring everything I've got to the
Dude,
table tonight. I'm
No more
I'm right up.
mid-season holidays.
Fresh as a 3-year-old, you are. You haven't worked. It's
I'm right up.
extraordinary. I can honestly put our hand up. We're a touchdown because we've been carrying a load, me and Chief, and Brian helps us every now and then, don't you, Bristol?
Right.
But we've just carried the
Yeah,
whole thing
that's
single-handedly, Chief, and they wonder why we're a bit down.
And I knew you'd do a fine job in our absence, Gaz. That's what you need to do. Can I just say my highlight and low light of the trip in Bali, because I did exchange emails with Jim, and it was obligatory. Maybe we catch up for a beer. In other words, no intention.
Yeah.
Because I see enough of you, and let's hope we don't cross paths.
Yes.
Without fail, the first outing I had in Canggu, I looked to the right and I think, now I'm a fairly pasty Irishman. I tend to be a little fluorescent. I'm thinking that is a man who is whiter than me, who looks as though he needs shade more than Cameron Ling needs shade. I'm thinking, who could that be with his chest poked out,
Linguini,
strutting down the beach,
Sunny.
sunny's on, and you wouldn't guess who it was. It was Jim, who was as happy with himself as any man I've ever seen.
Out of Canggu with all the gangsters.
Canggu Club. He was there front and centre.
He wouldn't be when after he heard Spud Regis rip through him after his trip over there. Look, Duke, it is nice to have you back. When were you back on the hot breakfast?
I landed back 9:30 Tuesday night, and I was back on Wednesday morning.
Right, so you've done 3. You
Done
need
3.
a spell, mate.
I've
You've done 3 days.
We're going to take
No,
a
you've done
Triple
3
M
solid
do another
days.
break.
Tommy Bell Chambers is coming up next, and we're going to sort the positions out where Das is actually going to call the football
Yeah.
from, which
Yeah.
could be a bit of an issue.
Well, if he sits
right where
there
you're
and
sitting,
pushes
Chris
back
Riley.
on my feet, he's going to cop this stuff. I'm telling you.